Breaking news, the sudden death of Republican Congressman Doug LaMalfa. Highway 99 has reopened after flooding forced a closure north of Chico late yesterday.
President Trump praises the raid to capture Venezuela's leader. I'm Aaron Navarro at the White House with what congressional leaders are asking about the country's future.
Covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news, people are expressing shock and sadness today after the unexpected death of District 1 Congressman Doug LaMalfa. The Republican congressman from Butte County was in his 7th term representing Northern California on Capitol Hill, where he served since 2012. The Butte County Sheriff's Office says a 911 call reporting a medical emergency was placed from the LaMalfa home in Ridgevale just before 7 last night, and that he died during surgery at Enloe Medical Center. A friend close to the family told us that LaMalfa suffered an aortic aneurysm. Doug LaMalfa dead at the age of 65. Congressman LaMalfa's chief of staff, Mark Spanigal, issued a news release this morning that said, in part, Congressman LaMalfa cared deeply for the people he served and worked tirelessly to hold the government to its word to fix our failing forests, build water storage, and lead people to be free to choose what is best for themselves. Spanigal went on to say that his tragic and unexpected passing leaves a deep impact on many. Governor Gavin Newsom must call a special election to fill Doug LaMalfa's seat within 14 days. Today, the governor issued a statement saying that, quote, Congressman Doug LaMalfa was a devoted public servant who deeply loved his country, his state, and the communities he represented. While we often approached issues from different perspectives, he fought every day for the people of California with conviction and care. He will be deeply missed. In honor of Congressman LaMalfa's passing, flags at the state capitol will be flown at half-staff. We do have some good news today. If you travel Highway 99 north of Chico, it reopened this morning. Here's a look at the intersection of Highway 99 and Garner Lane, where the traffic is once again flowing smoothly, and that's the same spot where northbound traffic was detoured overnight between Garner and Kiefer Roads. Flooding has become a major problem on that stretch of road. Again, Highway 99 has reopened to traffic north of Chico. This is a live look from the Flea Mountain Alert California camera, where you can see some blue sky. We actually are seeing some partly sunny skies today. Meteorologist Sam Copeland has a look at what to expect ahead.
Linda, it's a look along Highway 1 at Deer Creek. A lot of clouds, yes, but fortunately, the showers that have been hanging pretty tough the last few days have generally pulled on out, and we're left with just some spotty, lingering activity. Visibility, though, still a bit problematic in some spots, so even though we are seeing big improvement from earlier, watch out for some locally reduced visibility due to some fog hanging pretty thick. Otherwise, the weather maker that's on our radar is, for once, well away from the area, so largely dry conditions during the day today, but there is a system up towards Seattle and Portland that's going to drive on down and bring a few isolated showers during the day tomorrow, so we'll be discussing that and an overall drier stretch coming on up.
All right, thank you, Sam. We have new details in the search for a missing woman last seen in Redding on Christmas Day. A friend sent Action News Now a photo that showed where her car was found. Trina Barelos was driving a 2012 white Mazda 3. It was found on a dirt road on December 29th, less than a half mile from her house in Little Valley, which is near the Shasta-Lassen County line. Her friend said Barelos' green and pink jacket was also found near the car along the railroad tracks. Redding police say that Barello called her family from the Redding Walmart early Christmas morning, saying she was headed home to the MacArthur Little Valley area. The neighbors said they saw her car at her home on Saturday, December 27th, and again, it was found abandoned near the tracks on the 29th. Lassen County Sheriff is sending a letter to the state asking for action to address the increasing threat of wolves. There have been 2 wolf attacks on livestock in the county in just the past week. The first happened January 1st on the Willow Creek Ranch north of Susanville. A horse and calf were attacked, and died. A second attack happened January 3rd on the Haggadah Ranch. A calf was killed there. The sheriff's office said both attacks appear to involve the Harvey pack. The sheriff is asking the state to intervene to protect people and livestock. President Trump has addressed former Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and called him a violent man as the president praised the military strike to capture Maduro and his wife and bring them to the U.S. for a trial. But questions remain about what comes next for the country. Aaron Navarro has more details from the White House.
Speaking to House Republicans at the Kennedy Center Tuesday morning, President Trump praised the raid to capture Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro.
It was so complex, 152 airplanes, many. Talk about boots on the ground. We had a lot of boots on the ground. But it was amazing. And think of it, nobody was killed.
Trump administration officials briefed House and Senate leaders on the operation Monday afternoon.
I'm not concerned about anything.
But some lawmakers were concerned, especially about the administration's plans for Venezuela's future.
Their plan for the U.S. running Venezuela is vague, based on wishful thinking, and unsatisfying.
President Trump says oil companies will have to spend what he calls a tremendous amount of money to rebuild Venezuela and will then be reimbursed either by the U.S. or through oil revenue. White House officials are set to meet with oil executives later this week.
They've got a resource that's the size of the richest countries in the world in the Middle East. This could be the biggest prosperity story ever.
Republican leaders say the U.S. military will not be stepping foot onto Venezuela.
We don't expect troops on the ground. We don't expect direct involvement in any other way.
But since the Venezuela raid, administration officials have been ramping up talk about takeover of another territory.
Greenland should be part of the United States. The president has been very clear about that. That is the formal position of the U.S. government.
Denmark governs Greenland, and its prime minister said Trump's threats should be taken seriously, adding that an attack on one NATO country by a NATO member would mean the end of the alliance. Aaron Navarro, CBS News, the White House.
Trump administration officials are scheduled to brief all senators tomorrow on the Venezuela attack. Today marks the 5th anniversary of the riot at the U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C. On that day, thousands of supporters of President Donald Trump marched to Capitol Hill and stormed the building in an attempt to disrupt the official certification by Congress of the 2020 election, which was won by President Joe Biden. The events of that day led to numerous injuries, even deaths, as police clashed with rioters. After taking office for his second term, President Trump pardoned all January 6 defendants for their actions that day. We have a new development to report after state work crews responded to a trash dam building up in Big Chico Creek. And we show you just how swift and dangerous the water is right now in the creek flowing through Upper Bidwell Park.